Welcome to my channel for NEET Biology, and today we will discuss about the pteridophytes, higher than bryophytes but lower than gymnosperms. So first we will discuss the different traits and what are the sexual and asexual reproductive structures, what are the different features described for the NEET exams and all the exams for pteridophytes. So mainly the competitive exams we are describing here. So let's start the pteridophytes. Pteridophytes are higher than the bryophytes, but some traits are same. Actually, pteridophytes shares few traits with bryophytes and few traits with gymnosperms. This is the division of plant kingdom where you will encounter first the vascular system, that is true xylem phloem. In a previous cases in Bryophyta we have not encountered such, we have not seen the true xylem or phloem, but in this case true vascularization is there along with true root, shoot and stem. True root, shoot and stem, no rhizoids, only few members of Lycopsida, only few members of Psilopsida class where Xylotam and lower pteridophytes, not Xylotam, lower pteridophytes like Rhynia that are fossilized. Actually the Psilopsida class contains some fossil pteridophytes. So in that case rhizoids were there, but in major cases rhizome is there, underground rhizome is there and true root system is there. So let's start. What are actually the traits? Here some pictures I have drawn and I will discuss what is actually the traits and what are the hidden criteria or hidden mystery, enormous mystery present in pteridophytes. What are these? Actually this is the body of Selaginella. Here you are seeing the Selaginella leaves are looking like this. These are the leaf like structure, not the true leaf is here. No leaf like structure, the true leaf is here. And photosynthetic. This is the first thing is that in pteridophyte is the sporophytic body. The body is sporophytic. The major body is sporophytic. It is a sporophytic body. It is a sporophytic body and it is a diploid structure. In this case it is Selaginella diploid. In this case in Dryopteris it is a diploid body. That is, in case of Bryophyte the main plant body was gametophytic, but in this case the main plant body is sporophytic, not gametophytic. Here the sporophytic plant body is photosynthetic as here in Equisetum also. So photosynthetic sporophytic body contain, why it is called sporophytic? Because it bears sporophylls, that is phylls, that is the leaves. It contains leaves, that leaves bear the spores. So they bear the spores. So why called sporophytic body? So the spores are haploid like that of bryophytes. In this case haploid spores are developed in sporophytic body. Now where the spores are developed? Spores are developed in a special sac, is called sporangium. It's called sporangium. And sporangium is present where? In a sporophyll. The specialized leaf here, close look here, all are the leaves here. But in this case these are sporophylls. These sporophylls together constitute a cone like structure to form strobilus or strobili. In this case Selaginella, in this case Equisetum also. The cone like structure or this structure strobili are formed by leaf like structures, compact leafed. That leaf are special because this leaf contains sporangium at their base. Here the picture. What happened? This is the strobili LS, longitudinal section of Selaginella. What happened? This one is a leaf. This one is leaf, but at the base it contains sporangium. It contains sporangium. It contains sporangium. Here the sporangium is microspores. It contains microspores. It contains megaspores. So they may be homosporous or heterosporous. That is, when one plant body bear only the male spores, that is only the one kind of spores, are called homosporous. When a same plant body bears two kind of spores in his strobilus, or here the Selaginella, where the same cone or same strobilus bear the megaspores as well as microspore. So this is called heterosporous. Heterosporous means two different type of spores are produced in same strobilus. Strobilus is nothing but the compact sporophylls, that is spore bearing leaves. Here the spore bearing leaves, these are normal leaves. Spore bearing leaves compact to form a sporangium, that at the base is a sac like body called sporangium. It bears the spores. Spores, when they are microspores, they are small in size, and microspores germinate to produce a gametophytic structure. In a Bryophyta, we have seen already that when spore will germinate, it will produce protonema, but in this case spores germinate to produce prothallus, not protonema. In this case prothallus is developed. Now when homosporous, in case of fern, when homosporous, then one type of prothallus will be developed. Prothallus what? It is rhizoid containing, this is a rhizoid containing a photosynthetic and self, that is it is self sufficient, able to make their food, a specialized thallus like structure. This structure is developed from the microspores or from the spores, germination of a spore. Spore germinate to produce a thallus like structure. Why? This is a gametophytic body, and in this case gametophytic body is independent also, like that of Bryophyta. In this case, why gametophytic? Because here the look here the and archegonium, the female reproductive part and male reproductive part, antheridia are developed. So antheridia and archegonia are developed in a separate body. How they formed? Now they formed by the germination of spores. When homosporous, the same prothallus will develop the archegonium as well as antheridium. When heterosporous is there, then the megaspore will develop the female gametophyte separately, where only archegonium will develop, and the male microspore will develop male gametophyte, where only antheridium will develop. Now the archegonium and antheridium developed, and archegonium will produce antheridium will produce antherozoids, that is sperm, and archegonium contain the egg. So sperm swims to the egg and fertilize to form zygote. That zygote will give rise to again this sporophytic body, So this one is very important right here. Close look at the word diagram. The sporophyte produce sporangium by means of cone or any kind of lizard. In case of Dryopteris, this is a sporophytic body. We have seen that in a roadside, huge amount of Dryopteris at the back side of the Dryopside leaf. If you look closely, you will see the wart-like structures here, wart-like structure. These are, what are these? These are sporangium. These are sporangia, and that sporangia contains spores. That spores are haploid spores. That haploid spores germinate to produce prothallus, and within the prothallus the male and female reproductive structures are developed. They fuse, antheridia will go to the antherozoids will go to the egg and fertilize it and produce zygote, and zygote germinates to again produce this. So this sporophytic body, so zygote is 2n, so they are also 2n diploid. So where meiosis occur? Meiosis occur during the formation of spores, that is microspore, megaspores. So heterospory is first occur here. This is a seed like structure, heterospory, and the vascularization. So this one is very important, you have to note this, and as well as we will discuss about the what are the different classes. I have mentioned there is a Psilophyta, Psilopsida, as well as Lycopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteropsida. Psilopsida member are Xylotum, Lycopsida are Lycopodium selaginella, and the Sphenopsida equisetum, and Pteropsida is a Triapteris, fern and Adiantum. You have to memorize this, and these are the different classes: Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteropsida. These are 4 classes. So this is the overall pteridophytes. You have to take note and properly memorize. Thank you.